We got like a camera track. Oh, the light's in frame. Jesus. Let's see. No, that looks absurd. Well, we're leaving the ghetto light in frame. What's going on? Oh wait a minute. That could go there. All right. Oh, I guess that's fine. Is he gonna stop tracking me? That works. I'm happy with this. All right. There's a bit of a mess right there. Well, I didn't think this through too well, but it's okay. So, oh, okay. So we're up. Now let me go put this on social. All right. Let's go and get this link. How's the thumbnail look? Oh, it's all choppy. Come on. Well, it shows me now, but all right, we're gonna hop right into it. Just give me 1 second. All right, now let's see. All right, now let me turn my ringer off because I'm extremely well versed in being famous. But let's get right into it. First of all, acknowledgement. We're wearing a Dubliners Oro Shadava Hawalia. It's one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite Irish songs. That's probably my favorite song in Gaelga. That being said, let's go through the rules of this. So I have gone through like 24 out of 26 Christy Moore albums available on Spotify. There are two that are kind of the best of and stuff like that I stayed away from because it's a lot of repetitive songs that you would have heard prior in other albums. And I got my book here. I did extensive research. It's taken me just over about a week and a half. And yesterday I went down listening to them again and I wrote it all down, gave them scores. Some of the scores I haven't changed and they've kind of been reassessed, but nothing crazy. So we're not going to give you the rank right away. We're going to go through every album from 1972, if I'm not mistaken, 1972 all the way to 2024, 2025. My hair looks a lopsided there. Just wait, this side, there we go. Okay, that's okay. I'm good. I just took a shower. That being said, what was I saying? Yes, we're going to go through, like 50 years of music. Let's get right into it. And I'm going to give you the best song, in my opinion, from each of these albums. That being said, they're not necessarily my favorite songs. Okay. So there's a lot of my favorite songs that are on certain albums, but it's not the version that I enjoy. There's some versions that I prefer. And it just so happens that a lot of the versions of my favorite songs are on the same album or albums, meaning it was very hard for me to choose the best song from each of them. And the way I kind of did the album ranking was what's the lineup of songs? Like, is there 3 good songs out of 12, or is there 9 good songs out of 10, or like 12? So that was one big thing. Then I would go on and I'd say, okay, this is the best song of the album. Let's rank it out of 10. Lyrics wise, how it's sung, the tune behind it, the meaning, and the whole thing that makes it a traditional folk song. So that was that, as well as the extreme overall enjoyment. When I sat down, some albums, maybe I just don't really like the songs, but I enjoyed it still. I was able to sit down and enjoy, because there's some albums with other artists that you could sit down there and you could say, look, I'm just going to skip this album altogether. And There was maybe one I would say with Christy that I just didn't resonate with me much. Not saying it was bad, it's just not what I'm used to, but it can grow on me. So that being said, with I'm gonna say that being said is like the key word for me. Every once in a while, maybe I'll sneak in some singing. There's a boron right there in front of me. I don't want to make you hear it because wow, I don't even know if the mic will pick it up. So we'll see. So I've also given some runner-ups. So a song, maybe two songs per album that are also like honorable mentions. Close to being my favorite from that album. And let's just hop right into it. I posted this one on my Facebook yesterday, but we're gonna go with 1972's "Prosperous." So this would have been Chrissy's first solo album. If I'm not mistaken, he would have had one with Planksty around the same time, maybe. Or was that 82? No, I feel like I'm right, and it would have been early 70s. And I've got one of them, "The Well Below the Valley." I think that may have came out in 73 or around that time. Now, Prosperous, head on, first album. What's he got? Now, he comes out with a decent album. It's nothing compared to some of the best ones. It's very mediocre. Now, that being said, my favorite phrase, obviously, where do we go with the lineup? Now, it's got good songs, but there's one or two, really just one, that is absolute one of my favorite songs, like ever. It was one of the introductories to traditional music for me, and that would be the Raggle Taggle Gypsy. And it kind of makes this album. And it's not my favorite version of this song, I will be honest. But it's a solid 8 out of 10 song, you know? Christy being very open about his views on the traveler community as well, with songs like Go Move Shift, The Well Below the Valley, if I'm not mistaken, is somewhat of a traveler song, and obviously the Raggle Taggle Gypsy. It's just one of those songs from the start of me listening to trad music. It just resonated very well with me, and I truly enjoyed it. Now, the album itself, a 5 out of 10. Like enjoyment, lineup about a 4. There are some other songs. The Hackler from Gross Hall is just a really good one. Like it's a fun song. Some songs are just fun to listen to, and that's where that enjoyment comes in. Is can I move with this? Would I put this on and be like, listen to this? And that's one of those songs. And it's just the somber way he goes, how he starts, and he goes, I've been a roving tackler and a diddle diddly do, diddle 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 do, diddle diddly do. It's a fun pace, and I like it. And another runner up, one of Chrissy's, in my opinion, most infamous songs, and one that I'm always asked to sing, but I don't know all the lyrics to still. And it's one of the first songs I would have learned. But the songs, well, as you start to collect more, kind of fade away, and you gotta relearn them. Would be the Cliffs of Dooneen, and that's you may travel far, far from your own native land, far away across the ocean, far away across the foam, and in all the fine places that I've ever seen, there's none to compare with the Cliffs of Dooneen. And that's a beautiful song, and that's on that album. So that also gave it a big boost. And we were sitting at 14 with the lineup and enjoyment, plus 8 for the best song. So we're at 17 out of 30. Okay? We're not adding the two runner-ups, as, I'm going to move my hands a lot. Wee, wee, wee! I need a drink. It's just Coca-Cola. So that's not bad. A 17 out of 30. That being said, more than a 50%, I would say listen to this album. This is a good album to listen to, and it's really got those songs of introductory. It's got a bit of everything in there. that you could go, hey, you know what? Maybe I will enjoy this music. Second album is 1978. So he took a bit of time, took 5 years. I don't know how to count. 6 years. That's better. 6 years. And this is called the Iron Behind the Velvet. 1978. Not a great lineup, in my opinion. This is not one of my favorite albums by a long shot. A 2 out of 10. There wasn't much in there that I really said, these are classics. These are things that when people think Christy, there it is. That being said, Patrick Was a Gentleman is on this, and that is it's a catchy song. You know, St. Patrick's Day comes around, and that's the only thing I could think. When somebody says, hey, my name's Patrick, I think, oh, Patrick was a gentleman and he came from decent people. He built a church in Dublin town and on it put a steeple. And it's a quick, fun, witty, and the Boron plays on it at some points. It's really fun. And he's got a version of this with Stockton's Wing. I think that's their name. Better version than this version. So that's why I was kind of, where do I go with this? You know? So I give it a 6 out of 10. Just because that is one of the only really song on that album that I'd say you got to listen to this. This is a good one. Now, John O'Dreams is on this as well. Phenomenal song, but I don't necessarily say, look, if you want one of the best Christy songs, John O'Dreams, and it is a great song, but I don't think it cracks top 10, in my opinion. But we'll see how the rankings go because I don't quite remember. Well, it wouldn't be because it's not the top one, so I didn't really rank it like that. But great song, as well as I think it was Gabriel McKean's. It's a tune. There's a few tunes in this. Now that's what made my enjoyment go to 4 out of 10. It was going to be another 2, like the lineup, but you know, I hear the pipes, I hear a fiddle, I hear a whistle, I hear the Boron, and I just reels and jigs get me going, and that was a real good one. And there was another one on there too, which I scratched off and replaced it with the Gabriel one because I wanted to go maximum 2 runner-ups. That being said, the Iron Behind the Velvet 1978 got a 12 out of 30. So a significant drop from Prosperous. That being said, it's still a decent album to listen to, but it's not one I'd say you'd have to listen to. And I would say, go listen to it right now. I would say Prosperous is much better than the Iron Behind the Velvet. Now, the next 2 are heavy hitters. You know, these are 2 that I would definitely say, what are you doing if you're not listening? You know, if you like Christy and you've never heard these albums, you're out of your goddamn mind. But if you don't listen to Christy and you're looking to listen to Christy Moore, I'd say these are some that you can definitely start off with, and I would suggest you do it. So, Live in Dublin, 1978. So, he's got 2 albums out this year. One, not great. The other, a really good album. Now, the lineup's a solid 6 out of 10. It's above average. So, it's better than Prosperous, way better than the Iron Behind the Velvet. And it's got banger after banger after banger. More melody, ballady kind of feel to it. But these are ballads and slower songs of Christie's that you hear him sing and the goosebumps come, right? That being said, not a ballad. Top song of this album, and it would be The Crack Was 90 in the Isle of Man. You know, between the railroad stocks, and the Ace of Hearts. It's a fun song, and that's really where you'll find your love. I find a lot of people who want nothing to do with traditional Irish music or folk music. You have to hit them with these songs first, the fast-paced ones. You know, they're not going to love a ballad. They don't know the history, and they're probably not willing to know the history right now. So you have to hit them with fun sing-along songs, you know, stuff like The Irish Rover, or like, you know, where they're clapping, or a Wild Rover, you know, stuff like that. Or Rocky Road to Dublin. These are songs with fast pace, and not too hard to remember. A ballad, on the other hand, is a little more difficult to learn and appreciate. Now, we do have some runner ups, and let me clarify 6 out of 10 for The Crack Was 90. It's just a classic. That's a good song. Uh, Runner ups, though, what do I have here? Black is the Color. Black is the Color is an absolute gorgeous song. I know a lot of people who really enjoy it. So it's definitely a runner up. And what do I have here? Clyde's Bonnie Banks. Now, this is more of a ballady kind of slow. Same with Black is the Color, but they're up there with some of the best. Now, total enjoyment, I gave it another 6 out of 10. Above average, 110%. This is something that you'll go and you'll have a nice glass of whiskey with, and let it resonate with you. Meaning, so far, this is our highest rated album. Not for long, may I add, because the next one, well, a bit biased myself because my favorite song is on the next one. Favorite song of all time. This is like, we'll get to it, okay? Now, we got an 18 out of 30, right? So about a 60%. I would 100%, though, say listen to Live in Dublin, especially if you like the slower stuff. That's great for you. Now, Ride On, 1984. He takes a bit of a break here, right? And he comes back with one of the greatest songs ever performed. Now, not only does it have one of the greatest songs ever performed or ever sung. That sounded racist. Come on. You're a racist now, Father. Father Ted. Okay. Anyways, lineup 7 out of 10. This has absolutely wonderful, and I mean wonderful, set list here. Best song goes 10 out of 10, and I'm a bit biased on it, but it's kind of fair. All right, we got to move this so it doesn't die on me. We got Ride On, name of the album. True, you ride the finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2, with eyes wild and green. Such a great song. And I really don't want to say too much about it. Just go and listen to it. The tune and the tone to it, with the melodies and the power in his voice, especially that second verse, where it goes, when you ride into the night without a trace behind, run your claw along my gut one last time. That right there, I turn to face the empty space where you used to lie. I can't play guitar. And look for the spark that lights the night through a teardrop in my eye. Such a great song. You gotta listen to it. It's so great. I don't do it justice. Not even a bit. Runner-ups. Now, this song is a solid. I'm gonna rank it though. 9. A solid 9. It almost beats Ride On. And if I'm not mistaken, written by Bobby Sands, is Back Home in Derry. This would have been probably my first song that hit me so hard, and one of the first ones I learned from Christy. You got to listen to this one. I love it so much. And another one I learned recently within the past year is The Dying Soldier, and that's one you got to listen to. I like his vocal on it. And it tells a story about a soldier dying and kind of his surroundings as it's happening. It's another heartbreak song. I mean, it's very sad. Total enjoyment, like the lineup, is a 7, right? So we're sitting at a 24 out of 30, which is an 80%. If you don't listen to this before the day you die, you're missing out on life. That's what that means. You have to listen to this album. I promise you will enjoy it. That's Ride On, 1984 by Christy Moore, of course. Now we're going down. Ordinary Man, 1985, a year after. Now, you're probably thinking, top song, Ordinary Man. No, not this version of it anyways. And I'm going to try not to double up on any songs. So it kind of makes it a bit harder. So like when we get to later ones and you're like, how would you say this is not the best song on this album? Maybe it's not my favorite version of that song, so it kind of drops it. Or maybe I've already said, in Prosperous, the Raggle Taggle Gypsy was my favorite song, or the Hackler from Gross Hall is a runner up. I won't use it in later on. Okay. So lineup is a solid 4. It's nothing crazy. It's quite ordinary. See what I did there? Ordinary man. Best song. This is a lot of them will be like this. It's the catchy tune ones, and it's Continental Kaylee. Over in McCann's, there's a band diddle 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 do diddle 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 diddle. It's just a fun song, and I really enjoy it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's a 5. Not one of the highest rated best songs. It's actually the lowest one so far, if I'm not mistaken, but still a decent song. Runner-ups is The Real and The Flickering Light, and I only put one. The album's not the greatest in my opinion. It's great, but it's not one of my favorites. That's for sure. Real and the Real and Flickering Light is another one that is kind of catchy. Overall enjoyment, 4 out of 10. So we're sitting at a 13, which is not our lowest, but a 13 out of 30. Here is probably our lowest one so far, the Unfinished Revolution. Now, lineup is a 2. There's nothing except really the best song, in my opinion, on the track or on the album that is spontaneous and astronomically like amazing, But a 6 out of 10 for the best song on this, which is Pair of Brown Eyes. And a roving, I'll go. A roving, I'll go for a pair of brown eyes. For a pair of brown eyes. It's a great song, famously done by the Pogues. But Christy's version of this is quite nice. Messenger Boy and Biko Drums are the runner-ups. Nothing phenomenal. And overall enjoyment, I gave it... I was back and forth. I see a 4, I see a 2, I see a 3. I think I gave it a 3. So a 2, 6, and a 3 is about an 11. Not my favorite. Still a good album, though. And I'd say if you'd want to read it, here goes my paper. Some ASMR. Then go for it. Pair of Brown Eyes, though, is definitely the best track on that album. We're going to Voyage. Now, 1989. Lineup is a 4. 4 out of 10. You'll kind of see that a lot. There's only a few albums where the lineup is like you could listen to that whole album and go, there's not one song I don't love. There's maybe 2 or 3 of those albums. Now, best song I have right here, one that he did with Planksty as well, which I'm going to try to avoid to do on another kind of deep dive, is a Planksty deep dive. But the Night Visit, And who are you, my pretty fair maiden? Who are you, me honey? And who are you, my pretty fair maiden? Who are you, me honey? Oh, she answered me, class modestly, I am me mammy's darling, with me to right ya, fada riddle da, to riddle da, fada riddle do. That's a great song, 7 out of 10. Catchy, I love it. One of my favorites, I say one of my favorites, top 30 for sure. I know a lot of trad and folk songs. Now we have runner-ups. The Mad Lady and Me, great kind of ballady storytelling. Listen to it. I won't give any of it away. And Bright Blue Rose. What a song. Now this is a close second. That is a national classic ballad, And that I had to put it on my runner-ups, being underneath The Night Visit. Overall enjoyment's a 5 though. It's a good listen. And I'd suggest this album to people and say, listen to this. You'll enjoy it. It probably won't be your favorite, but maybe it will. So she's sitting at a 15 out of 30, which is about a 50%. So I'd say you might as well give it a listen if you're doing a deep dive as well, or if you're trying to inform yourself on this type of music and Christy Moore's music himself. Now, I have a story for this one. All right. Smoke and Strong Whiskey, 1991. I had never heard the song to which the track to which the album is named after, which is Smoke and Strong Whiskey, which is the best song on this album, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. I never heard it before I saw Christy live in September, and I knew every song he sang except that one, and I I have goosebumps. It was really I the song spoke to me very well, but it was how it spoke to the whole audience. Everyone mellowed down and was quiet, and it's his voice in it. You got to listen to it. Smoke and Strong Whiskey. Like I'd say, oh, there's sirens going on. Thanks for ruining the deep dive. Anyways, I don't even know if you could hear him. I probably sound crazy. But yeah, solid 9. It is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful song. So sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I know I shouldn't be. Lineup is a 4 though. And there's a few good songs on there. Now, what are my runner-ups here? I have Welcome to the Cabaret. It's the only runner-up I seem to have on there right now. And it's welcome, welcome everyone. It's one of those fun songs. And as I mentioned, those are catchy songs for people to learn and start enjoying trad music. In my personal studies, I guess you'd call them. Everybody loves a trad song. And I would put all my life savings, which isn't much, on that. 110%. 17 out of 30. It is a very decent album, and I really enjoy it. The time has come. No, I don't have a year on this one. Maybe it's 1991 as well. Maybe that's why I didn't write it. We got a 6 out of 10. Good lineup. One of the better ones that we've seen so far. We've got a 5 out of 10 for the best song, though. So this is one of the songs that I would not have heard from Christy, but another artist that I love. And it was another big introductory into me studying more trad Irish music. And it's Lanigan's Ball. It's one of those quick ones. 6 months I spent in Dublin, 6 months or nothing at all. 6 months I spent in Dublin learning to dance for Lanigan's Ball. She stepped out, I stepped in again, she stepped in, I stepped out again, she stepped out, I stepped in again, learning to dance for Lanigan's Ball. It's a fun, fast-paced song, and like you can jig to it, 100%. Only a Rivers Run Free, close second there. That is probably on par with it. Absolutely beautiful song. And The Lakes of Pontchartrain. People know Paul Brady did it. Chrissy did it as well. And so great. Such a great song. And I believe my notes on this one are all over the place. I really had a hard time with it. I do believe I gave it either 16 or 7. It's a 16 out of 30. So listen to this one. You'll enjoy it. The Christy Moore Collection, 1991. Skipped it because it's one of those collections, right? And I said I wasn't going to be doing those at this moment anyways. If somebody wants me to go through them, I definitely will. King Puck. 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 Not the other word. King Puck. 1993. Lineup 2. Nothing phenomenal on this album. I actually have no runner-ups for it. And I have the best song at a 5 out of 10. Yellow Furs Woman. It's to a tune of another song. It's a catchy one. I like it. It's slower. Overall enjoyment 3. So we're sitting at a 10 for this one. It's our lowest one, if I'm not mistaken, so far. Not my favorite album. And I'd say listen to the one song, and I listen to the whole album if you want, but I wouldn't say it's up there with the best of the best. Now we have a heavy hitter. We went a 10 out of 30, and now we're going to hit it up with a big probably one of the 2 best albums ever recorded by Christy as a solo, not including Planksy or Moving Hearts and stuff like that. We have Live at the Point, 1994. Now, lineup, big lineup here. We got a 9 out of 10. Now, that is probably one of our best that's our best lineup so far. Our best song, 9 out of 10. We're at 18 already. We've surpassed the majority of records that I've gone through already, and we still have the total enjoyment. So, what is the 9 out of 10 song? Go Move Shift. Born in the middle of the afternoon in an old horse carriage on the old A5. The big 12-wheeler shook me bed. You can stay here, the policeman said. You better get born on someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift. This is another song about the traveler community, and it is so heartbreaking. In this version, he has 2 additional verses, which I've sang. What's the past tense? Come on, somebody help me. I don't know why I went Italian. But he's added 2 verses in this version, if I'm not mistaken. And it's 6 in the morning out of Inchicore, the guards came through the wagon door. John Mahan was arrested in the cold, a traveling boy, just 10 years old. You better get born. And then it's the chorus. And then Mary Joyce was living on the side of the road, no halting place nor fixed abode. The vigilantes came to the Darndale site and they shot her son in the middle of the night. You better get born and someplace else. And it's the chorus again. And it does add such, it's a heartbreaking song. And probably one of my favorite Christy Moore songs in general. Now, overall enjoyment's a solid 8 out of 10. And I have my runner-ups here as everything. The whole song. The whole, listen to this album in full. Casey and Knock, the Knock song, not my favorites, but they're still up there with as good tracks. They just don't hold up to the monstrosities of awesomeness that fill up the rest of the track. So we're sitting this one out at 26 out of 30, which is our best rated album so far. Now, I don't want to miss one here. All right. This is one that I've recently started listening to. It's called Graffiti Tongue, 1996. The lineup's a 4 out of 10. As you can see, most of them are 4 out of 10s. Now, when you put them all together, absolute legendary guy, legendary artist, one of the best artists to have ever lived. And in my personal opinion, he's my favorite artist ever. And best song on this one is God Woman. And just that chorus of God Woman, when he sings it, the power in his voice and the lyrics of the song are awesome. So I gave it a solid 6 out of 10. I'm going to start speeding through these a bit. Runner-ups for this one, North and South of the River. Classic song. Really well done. And a recent song that I learned within the past year is Yellow Triangle. And just listen to this song. That's all I'll say. It's an extraordinary song. Total enjoyment, I gave it a 4 out of 10, meaning we are at 14. Now, not bad, nothing great, but there are some good tracks on this, and I would say listen to it. If I'm not mistaken, this next album is my least favorite, and my note here is I just don't like the way it sounds. Now, the songs themselves aren't horrible. I just don't like there's some songs that I really love on this album, but I don't like the versions of it. And the sound of the record was just not my taste. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 10 lineup and a 1 enjoyment. And I know that's kind of harsh, and I'll explain why I gave it enjoyment, and that's really why actually. Fairy Tale in New York, Christy version. Fairy Tale. Sorry, I've just seen this. I'm so sorry. When did this come in? I hope you're still here. Fairy Tale in New York, Christy's version. Not on any of the albums yet, I don't believe. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I have it in any runner-ups either. Good version. I don't like how he switched some of the words, but there is a version of it where he tells a story of Shane MacGowan, and it's a great run. Where was I? Anyways, yeah. Best song on this is The Well, or The Well Below the Valley. One of my favorite Christy Moore songs. Not a good version of it. So I gave it a 3 out of 10. And so, yeah, she's sitting at a... Actually, she's sitting at a 7. Or I gave it a 2 out of 10 overall enjoyment. So she's sitting at an 8 out of 30. Nothing spectacular. In my opinion, Last Cold Kiss and Rocky Road to Dublin for runner-ups. I love Last Cold Kiss or Two Island Swans. Two Island Swans made it for life. You know, it's a love story about swans, really. Next album, 2001. This is the day. Total lineup is a 3 out of 10. It's nothing special in that way. I don't think I have any runner-ups for it. The version of the song for the best song isn't my favorite. John Spillane, I think that's how you say his last name, does it best. Johnny Don't Go. No, Johnny Don't Go to Ballincollig where you always get so disappointed. Johnny Don't Go, Johnny Don't Go, Johnny Don't Go, stay in town. That's that song. Great song, really catchy. I enjoy it. Overall enjoyment of the album was a 3. So that's 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 5, 11 out of 30. Not a necessity to listen to. We do have a decent hitter here, Live at Vicar Street. Now, lineups 4 out of 10. Nothing crazy. Once again. Didn't know I was Eminem. I rhymed again. Did that rhyme? I don't know. We'll see. Best song, one that I recently just heard from this album. Resonates good. The way it sounds, I really enjoy it. And that is January Man. Runner-ups for this is Metropolitan Avenue. And total enjoyment, I believe I gave it a 3. Did I give it a 3? I did give it a 3. And that gives it a 12 out of 30. So Live at Vicar Street, not one of my favorites, but it's still a good hitter. Like it, I'd say listen to this one. You may enjoy it. It's got not extremely well-known songs of Christie's. So I may add that you have to, if you're looking to study more of Christie's music and learn more of his songs, you definitely have to listen to all of these. I mean, I had never heard January Man before last week when I was deep diving into the albums, and it's such a nice song. All right, we got another heavy hitter here. All right, Live in Dublin, once again. That's not the name, it's just Live in Dublin, 2006. Now, what do I have for a lineup here? I think that's a 9. Let's do the math. The 14. No, it's a 4. Yes, it's a 4. 4 out of 10. Once again, the 4 out of 10 lineups seem to be a reoccurring thing, but not saying they're bad lineups. They're just not as prestigious as the others. We go best song. I just heard the song last week or 2 weeks ago on Christie's on the thing he did with the collection agency of songs in Dublin, and he said it was like the first song to where he wanted to make sure his Gaeilge was good for it, and it's the two Keneallys, and it's slower song, great. The tone in his voice is that deep Christy, enjoyable 110%. And I'd say definitely give that a listen. It's a 7 out of 10 type of song. We have runner-ups here. We have Two Island Swans. Now, I said I wouldn't, reuse. So Last Cold Kiss was on Traveler, but not a great version of it. So I did include Two Island Swans. I just spat on my arm. And what else do I have here? I have Stitch in Time. I have 3 because I didn't really, I just learned this one the other day too. Good song, catchy, great value to it. And Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Russian Roulette. He also did this one with Moving Hearts. Name speaks for itself. Listen to the song. if you're into the wars and stuff like that as well, it's a good song. Total is a 19 out of 30 for this one. Um, Six lineup, seven for the song, and six overall enjoyment. It's a very solid record, and I would suggest you listen to it. Burning Times, 2007. We got a lower lineup of 3 out of 10. Nothing great. Best song is a 6 out of 10. Not my favorite version of the song, but it's up there with some of the classics, and that's Beeswing on disc one because it's a weird album. You know that I was 18. Whoa. I was 18 when I went to town. They call it the summer love. Burning babies, burning flags, a heart against the door. That song. Great song. Runner up is 16 Fishermen Roving. Rolling. Roving? Rolling? Can't even read my own handwriting. And overall enjoyment was a 2. So it's nothing great, but it's very average for where we're sitting at. So yeah, I think a 16 out of 30 is not bad. And you may very well enjoy that album. Listen, 2009. Lineup is a 3. Best song is a 7 out of 10. We have Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Now, I heard this one working at Cineplex a few weeks ago during the Christmas break. Smile on my face. Great song. Remember when you were mine. You shone like the sun. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Good song. And runner up is Gore to Tugger. Gore to Tugger. I think that's how it's pronounced. Just a fun song to listen to. And I gave the enjoyment a 3. So it's good main best song. The rest is kind of lacking, so it's 12 out of 30. Not our best one. Folk Talk 2011. Lineup 4 out of 10. Best song is a 6 out of 10, and it's My Little Honda 50. My little Honda 50. She's rapid and she's nifty. She'll do 150 on a windy day. Classic song. Fun to listen to. Fun to sing. We do have a runner-up here. Not my favorite version of the song, to the tune of the crack was 90, and it's the weekend in Amsterdam, or the weekend that we spent in Amsterdam. And we got our redundancy. Myself and the lads went on a spree with a brand new passport in our hands. We took off for the Netherlands. It's a great song. I also have Farmer Michael Hayes, which he also did with Planksty, and Easter Snow. Beautiful song, more ballady. Oh, the Easter snow, it has faded away. Great song. I gave My Little Honda 50. No, yeah, we're still there. A 6 out of 10. Overall enjoyment of 4, and a lineup of 4, which gives us a 14 out of 30. Not a bad song at all. So, where do we go here? We go Lily, 2016. Ow, my elbow. Lineup is a 2, overall enjoyment of 3, and a 4 out of 10 for the best song, Oblivious. It's a decent song, 9 out of 30. It's not really the best album out there. Now here's our runner-up for probably best album, with the other one that I was talking about before. On the Road, 2017. I actually had this on vinyl, and I donated it to the pub. 9 out of 10 lineup. It's actually pretty much a 10 out of 10 out of 10 lineup. That don't clip that, anyone, please. So the best song, 8 out of 10. Now, this is what I was talking about before. This album being a 9 out of 10, or even maybe a 10 out of 10 lineup, it's hard to choose the best song. Now, what do? We try to disregard any songs that have already been used. We go, what version do I like of these songs, and are they in this record? Most of them, yes. So what I had to do was I had to choose a classic, and I've done a lot of quick songs. What is a song that Chrissy sings on this album that is a heavy hitter all around? City of Chicago, 8 out of 10 song. And there are other songs on there like Listen Varna or Joxer Goes to Stuttgart or The Weekend That We Spent in Amsterdam, Ride On, I think, Raggle Taggle Gypsies there. But City of Chicago, it is an absolute classic. So it's a great song to learn. It's not long if you're looking to learn trad songs. And I'd really suggest listening to City of Chicago. And it's a great version of it. If I get an encore and if I get an encore and all of them, which means the entire album, listen to that album entirely. It's a phenomenal album, probably either first best or second best. And If I Get an Encore is great. This version specifically I like, which, if I'm not mistaken, in this version he goes, well, I never sang with Bob Dylan, but I sang with the Picker Dunn, which led me going, who's Picker Dunn? And now I've done deep dives into Picker Dunn, which I'd love to do another episode on. So stay tuned to that, or for that, sorry. Overall enjoyment's a 9 out of 10. So we got a 9, a 9, and an 8, which means we're back at a 26 out of 30, which ties us with another one. So we'll kind of go through that and see what we do there. We got Magic Nights next. We got another decent heavy hitter. 2019 lineup is a 5 out of 10. So better lineup than most. Best song, 7 out of 10. I gave it an 8, dropped it down to kind of balance the rankings. Missing You. Oh, I'm missing you. I'd give it all up for the price of a flight. Oh, I'm missing you under Piccadilly's neon. In 1986, there's not much for a chippy but swinging a pick. And they can live on love and on love alone. The proof is round London, round nobody's own. I screwed up the verses there. But anyways, great song. Listen to it. Runner-ups, Johnny Jump Up. I'll tell you a story that happened to me one day as I went down the hill by the sea. It's a good song. And Tipping It Up to Nancy. Now, there was an old woman in Wexford. That's another. It's pretty much the same song. Tipping It Up to Nancy is one that is more commonly known. And it goes, there was an old woman. No, I'm thinking of there was an old woman in Nordle Town, a woman we all know well. She dearly loved her husband, another man twice as well. With me tip to Finnegan Nary, with me tip to Finnegan, with me tip to Finnegan Nary, and we're tipping it up to Nancy. So, great song. One of those quick ones that are fun. Overall enjoyment for this record is a 6. So we're going at an 18 out of 30, and one of our best ones there. Now, we have the early years, 2020. It's a compilation of a bunch of songs, so I did skip it. I can do a deep dive on it if you want, but it's really just going through it all again. We got 2 more records. We got a heavy hitter, and we got one that's not the greatest. And we'll start off with 2021, Flying into Mystery. Lineup is a 3 out of 10. Best song is Van Diemen's Land. Not the one I know. No runner-ups, and overall enjoyment of 3. So it got a 10 out of 30. And I don't really have much to say on it. It's a decent album. I did listen to it a few more times and grew to enjoy it a bit, but I wouldn't give it any more than a 10 out of 30. So we're on our last album, to which I have here. My cousin Martin from over in Ireland sent it over to me, and it's right here. Oh, could you see? Because of the light, it's A Terrible Beauty. And this would have came out 2024, and there was an expanded version in 2025. And this has absolute glorious songs on it. I mean, there's maybe one or two that focus, there we go, that I'd probably skip over maybe or not listen to fully. So it's a 7 out of 10 lineup though. You know, one of our best lineups, as well as the best song is Black and Amber. I do. It's on par with a lot of them. You know, Palestine, Smoking Lemon Sevens, or Boy in the Wild. Oh, boy in the wild world, can't you see? It's the way it is. Life holds many sorrows. Great song, great video to it. Breaks my heart, and then repairs it, I guess. But Black and Amber, the vocals on this entire track, great, and those are just some runner-ups to it that I mentioned that I'd say you got to listen to, and an overall enjoyment is a 5 out of 10, which gives her 19 out of 30, which is I'd say you got to listen to this album. I'm like I said, I'm super lucky to have it right here, and yeah, shout out to my cousin Martin for that. Now we got to skip a page because it took me like 3 times to tally it all up, and I'll read it off like this. So the moment you've all been waiting for. We got best album ranking down to my least favorite. Now, there was a tie here, Live at the Point and On the Road. I gave it to Live at the Point as Christy Moore's best album. On the Road in second place. Ride On in third place. Live in Dublin 2006 in fourth place. In fifth place, we have A Terrible Beauty. In sixth, we have Live in Dublin 1978. 7, Magic Nights. 8, Prosperous. 9, Smokin' Strong Whiskey. 10, The Time Has Come. 11, Burning Times. 12, Voyage. 13, Folk Talk. 14, Graffiti Tongue. 15, Ordinary Man. The Iron Behind the Velvet at 16. 17, we have Listen. Live at Vicar Street at 18. 19, we have The Unfinished Revolution. This Is the Day at spot number 20. King Puck at 21. Flying into Mystery at 22. Lily at 23. And then I kind of emphasize Traveler in 24. And I just couldn't really get into the tone of that record. Now we have best songs. Now we know number 1 is Ride On. Stand by that. Go On Move Shift or Go Move Shift at number 2. Smokin' Strong Whiskey at number 3. Number 4, we have The Raggle Taggle Gypsy. City of Chicago in number 5. The Night Visit in number 6. In number 7, we have Missing You. Number 8, we have Black and Amber. The Two Cornelies in 9. Pair of Brown Eyes in 10. 11, we have Burning Times. That's the album. I'm reading it wrong. And 11, we have Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. 12, Patrick Was a Gentleman. The Crack Was 90 in the Isle of Man in 13. My Little Honda 50 in 14. In the 15th place, we have Beeswing. In 16th place, we have Godwoman. Lanigan's Ball in 17th. Continental Kaylee in 18th. In 19th, we have January Man. In the 20th spot, we have Yellow Furs Woman. Johnny Don't Go in 21. Van Diemen's Land in 22. In 23, we have Oblivious. And in 24, we have The Well. Now, as I mentioned prior, I could finally get rid of that. As I mentioned previously, those are not my all-time favorites. The first 3 to 4 are really up there in my top 10s, probably, for songs. But those are my favorite albums. That's how I would rank them. I do have other songs I love. One of them being The Well Below the Valley O, which I'm going to absolutely murder on the boron. Oh Lord! All right, so well, I really hope you'll be able to hear it. I do have the moisture. I do have the moisture up with some water. I just don't have a spray bottle, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not really gonna play it much. I'm just gonna. Oh, you probably can't hear me when I'm talking. Okay. Anyways, what I'm. Sorry. I'm just gonna do the last kind of bit, and then I'll just bash on the boron for a bit because I can't actually play it very well, and we'll add some more. Okay, can we hear it? I wonder how it sounds if we go. All right, and it goes. If you been a man of noble fame, you tell me what will happen myself at the well below the valley, oh. Green grows a lily, oh, right among the bushes, oh. You'll be 7 long years a ringing the bell at the well below the valley, oh. 7 long years a burning in hell at the well below the valley, oh. I'll be 7 long years of ringing a bell, but the Lord above might save me soul from burning in hell at the well below the valley, oh. Green grows a lily, oh, right among the bushes, oh. I don't have a good grip. Let's retry that. Green grows a lily, oh, right among the bushes, oh. I didn't think how hard it'd be playing on with arms on the chair. Let's see if we could do it one more time. All right, with a little more water, maybe. Right there. All right, and we go. Green, green grows a lily, oh, right among the bushes, oh. That's how you murder a beautiful song. If you been a man of noble fame, you tell me what will happen myself at the well below the valley, oh. Green grows a lily, oh, right among the bushes, oh. Anyways, hopefully that didn't blow out people's eardrums. My apologies in not advance. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. And I guess in respect to Ride On, we'll sing a bit of Ride On. All right. True, you ride the finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2, with eyes wild and green. You ride the horse so well, hands light to the touch, and I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. When you ride into the night without a trace behind, run your claw along my gut. One last time I turn to face the empty space where you used to lie, and look for the spark that lights the night through a teardrop in my eye. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. And I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. What a song. Anyways, if you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like, stick around. Let me know what Irish folk group or musician you want me to evaluate and study and deep dive into their songs and music next, because I would love some interaction and to fulfill those needs of ranking albums from Irish folk musicians and trad musicians. I'm open to the Dubliners, Clancy Brothers, High Kings, Planksty, the Chieftains, a bit, the Furies, stuff like that. I am totally down for it all. And you just got to drop a comment or message me on Facebook or something. Shane Muir, you could find me. It's a handsome lad looking just like myself. You may know him in Belnabla at Michael Collins's memorial. So if you have any questions, I'll stick around for the last few minutes. And if you have any suggestions on songs and how you may want me to express myself on them, you go for it. I'll stick around for a few more minutes, as I mentioned. And I'd like to thank everybody who's joined and listened. Thank you. And for anybody in the future who have survived an hour and 3 minutes of my shenanigans so far, thanks for sticking around and listening. Make sure to share with your friends and family and other trad folk music lovers. It would mean a lot to me. And hopefully I'll be doing another one of these in another week or so. Listening to these albums is extremely time consuming, and I mean, I really enjoy doing them. I mean, I'm listening to them anyways. I might as well I use my spare time after work to express myself and how I feel about them. If you want a list of the best songs, you're lucky. I made a Spotify list of all the best songs from each album, and I will be sharing that on my Facebook. So go check out the Facebook, and maybe I'll throw it out in the links down below. So I don't see any questions rolling in. That being said, thanks for joining, and hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.